Tombstone, Arizona, a booming mining town in the 1880s where fortunes were won, lives were lost, and law was written at the barrel of a gun. But what was Tombstone really like before the infamous gunfight at the OK Corral? And how did that 30-second exchange of gunfire change the town forever? Let's dive into the real story of Tombstone before and after the most famous shootout in Wild West history. Tombstone was founded in 1877 after a prospector named Ed Schieffelin struck silver in the desert hills. Within just a few years, it exploded into one of the richest mining towns in the American West. By 1881, Tombstone had around 7,000 residents, a bustling town full of miners, gamblers, saloon keepers, outlaws, and entrepreneurs. The town boasted more than 100 saloons, gambling halls, dance halls, and theaters. Money flowed as fast as whiskey, and so did violence. With that much silver and wealth, Tombstone attracted bandits, rustlers, and outlaw gangs like the Cowboys, a loose band of cattle rustlers and stagecoach robbers. Law and order was shaky. The town had a marshal, but the real power came from men like Earps, his brothers Virgil and Morgan, and their ally, Doc Holliday, who represented law enforcement, sometimes in questionable ways. On the other side were the Cowboys, men like Ike Clanton, Tom and Frank McClory, and Billy Clanton, who saw the Earps as corrupt outsiders trying to control Tombstone. Tensions simmered for months, with threats, brawls, and intimidation building toward a violent breaking point. On October 26, 1881, tensions exploded. That morning, Ike Clanton was in town, drunk and armed, threatening to kill the Earps. The Earps disarmed him, but the feud didn't end there. By afternoon, Ike's brother Billy and the McClory brothers joined him, heavily armed. At about 3 p.m., the Earps and Doc Holliday confronted the Cowboys near the OK Corral, in a vacant lot on Fremont Street. What followed was 30 seconds of chaos, bullets flying at close range. When the smoke cleared, Tom and Frank McClory and Billy Clanton were dead. Virgil and Morgan Earp as well as Doc Holliday were wounded. The fight instantly became legend, though at the time, it was far from universally celebrated. In the immediate aftermath, the Earps and Holliday were arrested and put on trial for murder. The hearing lasted over a month, with testimony from dozens of witnesses. In the end, they were acquitted, with the judge ruling they acted within their duties as lawmen. But Tombstone was far from at peace. The Cowboys wanted revenge. Just weeks later, Virgil Earp was ambushed and crippled, and in March 1882, Morgan Earp was shot in the back and killed while playing pool. This launched the infamous Earp Vendetta Ride, where Wyatt, Doc, and a posse hunted down and killed several cowboys they blamed for the attacks. Tombstone itself began to decline shortly after. Flooded mines, financial struggles, and dwindling silver output meant the boomtown years were numbered. By the mid-1880s, Tombstone's glory days were fading. The shootout had made it famous, but the town never truly recovered from its violent reputation. Today, Tombstone lives on as a historic landmark and tourist attraction. But behind the gun smoke and legends lies the story of a town caught between law and lawlessness, riches and ruin. The OK Corral shootout was not just a moment in time, it was the spark that forever defined Tombstone's legacy as the town too tough to die.